Today our topic is how to apply Stoic principles to modern life. Stoicism is an ancient philosophy that teaches us how to live a good life by focusing on what we can control and letting go of what we cannot. It was practiced by great thinkers like Seneca, Epictetus, and Marcus Aurelius, and its lessons are still relevant today. In a world full of stress, uncertainty, and constant change, Stoicism offers practical tools to help us stay calm, focused, and resilient. Let's explore how we can use Stoic principles in our daily lives to find peace and strength. First, let's talk about the most important Stoic idea, the dichotomy of control. This means understanding what is within your power and what is not. Stoics believe that the only things we truly control are our thoughts, actions, and attitudes. Everything else, other people's opinions, the weather, the past, the future, is beyond our control. When we focus too much on things we cannot change, we waste energy and create unnecessary stress. For example, if you're stuck in traffic, getting angry won't make the cars move faster. Instead, you can accept the situation and use the time to listen to music or think about your goals. By concentrating on what you can control, you free yourself from frustration and find inner peace. Another key Stoic principle is to practice gratitude. Modern life often makes us focus on what we lack: more money, a better job, a bigger house. But Stoics remind us to appreciate what we already have. Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor, wrote in his journal every night about the things he was grateful for. This simple habit can shift your mindset from scarcity to abundance. For instance, instead of complaining about a small apartment, you can be thankful for having a roof over your head. Gratitude helps us see the good in our lives and reduces the desire for things we don't need. It also makes us more resilient during tough times because we remember the blessings we still have. Stoicism also teaches us to embrace challenges as opportunities for growth. Life is full of difficulties, but Stoics see them as tests of character. Epictetus, who was born a slave, said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This means that even painful experiences can make us stronger if we face them with courage and wisdom. For example, losing a job can feel devastating, but it can also be a chance to learn new skills or pursue a dream you've been putting off. By reframing problems as lessons, we turn obstacles into stepping stones and build resilience. Another important Stoic practice is to prepare for adversity. This doesn't mean being pessimistic, but rather being realistic and ready for life's ups and downs. Seneca advised us to imagine the worst-case scenario and ask ourselves, what would I do if this happened? This exercise, called premeditatio malorum, or premeditation of evils, helps us face fears and reduces the shock of unexpected events. For instance, if you're worried about failing a test, imagine what you would do if you actually failed. Would you study harder next time? Ask for help? Realizes that failure isn't the end of the world? By mentally preparing for challenges, we become less anxious and more confident in our ability to handle them. Stoicism also emphasizes the importance of living in the present moment. Many of us spend too much time dwelling on the past or worrying about the future. But Stoics remind us that the present is all we truly have. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." This means that life is short and unpredictable, so we should make the most of every moment. Instead of regretting past mistakes or fearing future problems, focus on what you can do right now to improve your life and help others. For example, if you're spending time with loved ones, be fully present instead of checking your phone or thinking about work. By living mindfully, you find more joy and meaning in everyday moments. Another Stoic principle is to practice self-discipline. In a world full of distractions and temptations, it's easy to lose focus and waste time. But Stoics believe that true freedom comes from mastering our desires and impulses. Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." This means that self-control is the key to achieving our goals and living a virtuous life. For example, if you want to eat healthier, you need to resist the temptation of junk food. If you want to save money, you need to avoid unnecessary purchases. By practicing self-discipline, we gain control over our lives and make better decisions. Stoicism also teaches us to value relationships and treat others with kindness. While we can't control how people act, we can control how we treat them. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "When you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, the people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly. They are like this because they can't tell good from evil." This doesn't mean we should judge others harshly, but rather understand that everyone is doing their best with the knowledge they have. By being patient and compassionate, we improve our relationships and create a more harmonious world. For example, if someone is rude to you, instead of reacting with anger, try to understand what might be causing their behavior. Maybe they're having a bad day or dealing with their own struggles. By responding with kindness, you break the cycle of negativity and inspire others to do the same. Another Stoic practice is to reflect on your day. Every night, take a few minutes to think about what you did well and what you can improve. This habit, called evening reflection, helps us learn from our experiences and grow as individuals. Ask yourself questions like, did I act with integrity today? Did I let my emotions control me? Did I help someone in need? By being honest with yourself, you become more self-aware and make better choices in the future. For example, if you lost your temper during an argument, reflect on what triggered you and how you can handle similar situations better next time. This practice helps us become more mindful and intentional in our actions. Stoicism also encourages us to focus on our own journey, rather than comparing ourselves to others. In today's world, social media often makes us feel inadequate because we see other people's highlight reels. But Stoics remind us that everyone's path is different, and true success comes from being the best version of ourselves. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." This means that instead of worrying about what others think or trying to impress them, focus on living a life of virtue and purpose. For example, if you're working on a project, don't compare your progress to someone else's. Instead, concentrate on doing your best and learning from the process. By staying true to your values, you find fulfillment and inner peace. Finally, Stoicism teaches us to accept the impermanence of life. Everything changes, and nothing lasts forever. This might sound sad, but it's actually a source of freedom. When we accept that everything, our possessions, relationships, even our own lives, is temporary, we learn to appreciate them more and let go of attachments. Seneca said, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." This means that life is long enough if we use it wisely. By embracing the present and letting go of the past and future, we live more fully and authentically. In conclusion, Stoicism offers timeless wisdom for navigating the challenges of modern life. By focusing on what we can control, practicing gratitude, embracing challenges, preparing for adversity, living in the present, practicing self-discipline, valuing relationships, reflecting on our actions, focusing on our own journey, and accepting impermanence, we can find peace, resilience, and meaning. These principles are not always easy to follow, but with practice they become habits that transform our lives. Remember, the goal of Stoicism is not to eliminate emotions or avoid difficulties, but to face them with courage, wisdom, and grace. As Epictetus said, first say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. By applying Stoic principles, we can become the best versions of ourselves and live a life of purpose and fulfillment.